Why am I on the top of New Mexico's tallest mountain with a woman I met in the grocery store and a dude with a bunch of llamas? Adventure with me as I accomplish a first time goal of mine, summiting a mountain, New Mexico's tallest mountain in the Rocky Mountains called Wheeler Peak at 13,167 feet of elevation. This journey started with an alpine morning 4 a.m. meetup location, which turned into our first leg of the trek, a 3-mile hike from the Red River Nature Trail to our first breakfast rest stop, here at Middle Fork Lake, nestled 10,252 feet high in the sky. Once we got here, we took off our gear, grabbed snacks, and whipped out the drone to get different angles of the lake. Yes, I did meet Nikki in a grocery store. Well, not really a grocery store, more so at the museum downtown Taos, New Mexico. The grocery store sounded cooler in my head as I was scripting this out. So I was leaving the museum in the gift shop talking to the concierge about my plans in Taos, which included going on a date with a llama. Nicole heard this as she was entering the museum and joined in, pondering if she should go or not because she was on the fence about the experience and she had heard about it. I reassured her that Stuart would take care of us and I was pumped to have a great time. She said that she would check it out and I said sure and went on about my way. Turns out, Nikki went home and booked the lunch date with the llama that night. Unbeknownst to me, she picked the same day I was doing my adventure. So, if you watch the llama lunch date video alongside the shorts for my glasses, Nikki and I were best friends from the museum gift shop moment we simply hadn't learned yet. Stuart, if you remember him, he and his wife Leah owns Wild Earth Llama Adventures in Taos, New Mexico, in which he's the head navigationalist with 30 plus years of experience in the Rocky Mountains, discovering unknown Native American artifacts and finding undiscovered caves and ruins within the wilderness, and that's wilderness with a capital W. And he's doing all of this with llamas. Stuart has over 30 llamas. So, of course, I had to let him lead the way to our peak ascent of Wheeler Peak. He took us on an unmarked trail that he's authorized to navigate, which took us on a 6-mile scenic hike to the peak, stopping here first at Middle Fork Lake. It's time for the drone to return so we can make our next 2-mile hike through the tall aspen trees. Has anyone ever had lunch 12,000 feet in elevation on the side of a mountain? Stuart knew of a spot that we had to trek to that was an incredibly scenic lunch spot. And if your friend who has explored the Rocky Mountains for 30 plus years tells you that he knows a spot, you shut up, listen, and follow. This location was exactly 1 mile to the peak, so we needed to fuel up because the peak ascent is the most challenging physically, mentally, and emotionally. You are playing with your life because one slip. While we shove calories in the form of proteins and carbs into our bodies to best combat any altitude sickness symptoms, I went to get an aerial view of the Rocky Mountains that span from New Mexico and into Colorado, which Colorado is our next state to explore. So subscribe and follow along as I navigate and see the beauties of the world. The eagle-eyed assassin Stuart himself saw a family of big booty sheep from over a mile away, from the mountain that we were having lunch on all the way across to another peak. Of course, I had to snoop in on their corporate executive meeting and look at their butts. I don't remember which species of sheep this is, but ass is what it's got, okay? Big booty ass sheep. Anyways, when climbing mountains, you have a window to bag the peak before any high-speed winds, storms, and nightfall hits because the sun goes down faster in the mountains from the mountains blocking the sun, which is where mountain time stems from. After 30 minutes of refueling, we headed to the most challenging piece of our hike. The last mile of the hike consisted mostly of a thin 2-foot knife edge hike to the peak. With the approval of the mountain gods, we were able to safely summit Wheeler Peak, the tallest mountain in New Mexico, standing at 13,167 feet of elevation in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains subrange in the south of the Rocky Mountain Range. Formerly Taos Peak, now Wheeler Peak, was navigated by taking Mount Walter, which is New Mexico's second tallest peak. On one unmarked, unmapped adventure from the Red River Trail led us 6 miles up a mountain, and not only one mountain. Led us 6 miles and across the first and second tallest peaks, which was such an accomplishment for all of us. Because we did this all in one day. One point during the last mile of the peak, I honestly broke down and cried because of the 2-foot knife edge, in which on each side was a 1,000-foot fall to your death. I told Stuart to leave me and that I would catch up, and I had to give myself a real mental reset, 13,000 feet up on a mountain. Who told my black ass to go up there and face this fear? On a random Tuesday with somebody I met in a museum and a guy with 30 llamas. Well, mission accomplished. I spoke life into myself, which gave my legs the courage to get out of the fetal position on top of a damn mountain in 20-degree weather at that, and fought to the peak with successful timing. When I caught up to Stuart, he looked at me and said, "I knew you figured it out. I let you problem solve." Like a proud father watching his little hiking fledgling get past the mental roadblock. I looked over and gave him one of these. From this aerial mountain view, you can see Williams Lake here. You can also see Mount Walter that we had to climb first just to get to Wheeler's Peak. I legit felt like a mountain goat scaling the earth we live on. Speaking of the earth that we live on, it's a privilege to be scaling mountains on a random Tuesday. Act like it and clean up after yourself when you see trash in the wilderness. Keep a trash bag specifically for trash and don't be a jerk and litter. Y'all know Swipe or No Swiping, the red fox? They're real animals and they live out here in the wilderness alongside mountain lions and bighorn, big booty sheep, bobcats, and various other precious beings that exist within this ecosystem. So don't be trash and leave trash. I'm writing a book called Climbing Mountains for Dummies. Page 1. Get out there and do it. Shout out to Nikki and Stuart for doing this adventure with me and ensuring I made a safe return because I was originally going to do this alone. Check out the shorts from my glasses while we scaled the mountain. And check out my Instagram. I have other pictures as well from the hike to the peak. I'm going to be putting more pictures of the mountain ascent and other adventures up there as well. Also, reach out to Stuart if you're ever in New Mexico or Colorado and want to explore the unknown wilderness. He might hook you up with a llama or two as well.